Welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. In the early days of R. Kelly's indictment, right after the first episode of Dream Hampton's Surviving R. Kelly docuseries had been released, very many minds were intoxicated with the idea that R. Kelly was the guilty one in this legal matter. The people who appeared in the TV series made sure to speak the worst of him, baptizing him the new name Monster and regarding him the predator he has never been. We can say the documentary together with the brainwashed media did a good job tarnishing and monsterizing the R&B King, and they almost got away with it. But like they say, the truth will always prevail. As we progressed through the journey of the R. Kelly situation, the accusers started making mistakes and falling off the script they had been given, and sooner than later, the lies started to come out. Some of the accusers were found to have lied about their age, but shockingly still, the government continued to present them as key witnesses who later failed them completely. Another huge mistake made by the government was their illegal involvement with the Bureau of Prisons officer, in leaking R. Kelly's private communications with popular blogger Tasha K., who later shared the recordings with the accusers' families. This amounted to a conflict of interest considering she shared this information with them to win them over as additional false accusers against the R&B King. As the case and trials progressed, it was also quite exposing when the New York federal judge Ann Donnelly adamantly refused to consider attorney Jennifer Bonjean's filings, which cited the statute of limitations and ineffective legal counsel as perfect reasons for her client to be granted a retrial. The prosecution got even more desperate when they lost out on their accusations against R. Kelly associates Daryl McDavid and Milton June Brown in Chicago, convictions they had hoped would justify the phony RICO charges against R. Kelly back in New York. With these two acquitted, it became even more evident to the masses that most of the charges against R. Kelly had been concocted and were nothing he deserved. As pages continued to unfold, more and more information leaks have shown the fans that their R&B King is not necessarily guilty of all counts like the government and their core counterparts wish to portray, and that he is largely innocent when it comes to many if not all the charges against him. No wonder R. Kelly has lately commanded overwhelming support from the public, especially on social media, which unlike mainstream media is completely liberal. With sufficient sensitization of the masses on matters to do with what the law says versus what the case facts are, R. Kelly is currently winning in the public opinion court, and the government trailing behind, losing miserably in all aspects. The only scores the government has made of late have included being the winner at presenting witnesses willing to lie under oath for a share of restitutions, exposing their wicked ways of marginalizing the R&B King for his race when handling similar cases with other defendants that are not black, displaying the highest level of corruption with impunity, citing their will to bribe the Bureau of Prisons officers in exchange for R. Kelly's private communications, and many more such dubious ways of winning cases by all means. It's important that the prosecutors know the people of the United States of America, and more so the members of the African American community, are not stupid and will not be taken for rides so easily. They have their eyes wide open and their ears on the ground to see who is lying for convenience, and who is telling the hard truth. Able to read between the lines, many people are now on R. Kelly's side and weighing in on the government to prove their case against their big-time celebrity. People are saying no to the era of patronage where the government speaks and the people simply take what they said as gospel truth. The people are now demanding answers in form of real impeccable evidence against R. Kelly, to account for the 4 years already spent behind bars, and the 30-year New York sentence combined. Sadly, until today, no real explanation has been presented, making everyone following the case sure and even more confident that just like R. Kelly is currently winning in the public court, he will also be winning his appeal and walking back home a free man. We know this may take some time, but in God's timing, the people's voice will be heard, and those responsible for suppressing it will be brought to book. According to Sandra Hudson, it's only that people be waiting for one heroic person to ignite the fire, that they may not be talking as much, but it's high time we started to hold the government accountable for its wicked actions. R. Kelly's situation reminds me of the young 14-year-old black boy George Stinney Jr., who was wrongfully sentenced to death by the electric chair back in 1944. It would be so sad for something bad to happen to R. Kelly while in prison, and later on turn him into another statistic among the innocent convicts of the days. No real evidence has been presented against R. Kelly, but for some reason we don't understand, he is locked up in prison and scheduled to serve 30 years on the inside. How is this even possible for a man who has not committed any heinous crimes? According to Maurice Grant, why is the world getting even more and more delusional nowadays? This man has been put in prison for being a man. We were once told a man is the head of the family, and that he makes the rules the rest of the household should follow. I guess being a man has become way too much for some people lately, and the government is no exception. They are probably suggesting all men should turn into women and let the world roll. After all, these now seem to be the preferred kind than a real man, and by regulation our decisions this much, the government is telling us we cannot be men anymore. If you wish to take part in a live interview on this channel discussing any of these topics, let us know by emailing us on sashahnnewsroom@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say? To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.